Premier, thank you so much for joining us. This new plan is expected to be the most aggressive move yet by a tariff-consumed American president. What is the mood there in Ontario and indeed the rest of Canada as we await this announcement later today?
Well, thanks so much for having me on. And I start every interview saying how Canadians love Americans. I love Americans. We love the U.S. And what this is going to do is going to hurt American families. And the folks you had on just previous is 100% bang on. The lumber that homes are built, majority of it is coming from Canada. It's going to increase the cost of a house, the autos as well. We ship as many autos as we buy, but the cost of a pickup truck or an automobile is going to go up. And then the pharmaceuticals too that he's going to go after are going to hurt seniors on fixed incomes that get a lower cost on pharmaceuticals here in Canada. So these tariffs is nothing but a tax on Americans, and President Trump calls it Liberation Day. I call it Termination Day because a lot of people are going to be terminated from their jobs.
So explain a little bit more why you call it Termination Day.
Well, we're the #1 customer. We buy more goods off the U.S. than any country in the world, more than Japan, the U.K., and France combined. And if you go after Canada, we have no choice but retaliate. And I apologize to the American people. We shouldn't be doing this. And they were talking about cheese. Well, on the dairy products, on the last deal that President Trump made, the U.S. hasn't even hit their quota. So there's never been a tariff until after their quota, but they've never hit that quota. But let's sit down and negotiate a trade deal. Again, President Trump ran on reducing inflation, creating more jobs. It's worked the total opposite. Consumer confidence is down, investment is stalled, inflation is happening, the markets are tumbling, and they're going to tumble today. And those are people's pension funds that invested into the markets. So this is not going to be good for the American people.
Premier, is Canada prepared for these tariffs? How will your country retaliate?
Well, right now, Wolf, there's 40 million people at a fever pitch. They're engaged, and they're ready to sacrifice. And I don't think my great friends, and I have a tremendous amount of friends in the U.S., they're kind of going on their merry way until they get hit. And they're going to get hit hard based on President Trump continuing to tariff. But he's doing it on all fronts around the world. He might have justification around the world. I would say China is the enemy, not Canada. But we're your closest allies and closest friends. We have a great trading relationship. Let's go back to that, create the AMCAN fortress, American-Canadian fortress, and we can take on the world. We'd be unstoppable. We'd be the wealthiest, safest, most prosperous 2 countries in the world.
As you know, Premier, President Trump has threatened to impose tariffs in the past. Then all of a sudden he backtracks, changes deadlines. Canada's Foreign Minister, Melanie Joly, says your country is not interested in going through this, quote, psychodrama every 30 days. That's a direct quote. Adding, there's too much unpredictability and chaos coming out of the White House right now. Just yesterday, the White House said the president is open to negotiating these tariffs. Listen and watch this.
The president is always up to take a phone call, always up for a good negotiation, but he is very much focused on fixing the wrongs of the past and ensuring that American workers have a fair shake.
Premier, do you think the president might back off these massive new tariffs and possibly implement something much smaller?
Well, I really hope so. I'd like to just go back to the original deal. We had a great deal. He said it was the greatest deal ever. I guess it's not the greatest deal ever now. But, let's work together. Let's sit down. 2 greatest countries in the world. I understand there might be issues around the world, but not with your closest neighbor and closest ally. So we need to sit down and do everything we can to have certainty. No one likes uncertainty. People don't like it. Businesses don't like it. The market doesn't like it. And that's what we're facing right now, because every single day something changes, and it's hard to keep up.
Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, has declared that the old relationship between the United States and Canada is now over. So what does this new relationship look like to you?
Well, I just feel that we have to settle this and have some stability in both economies. Once we have the stability, we sit down and renegotiate the USCA deal or the USMCA deal, and it will give people confidence, and people will start investing into their companies and growing the market. As I always say, you know, with the auto sector, you can't unscramble an egg that's been around since 1965. You have to make the omelet larger. And that's what we need to do to protect ourselves against countries that don't see eye to eye with us.
Yeah, you say you love Americans and you have a lot of friends here in the United States. We love Canadians. We have a lot of friends in Canada as well. This is an unbelievable situation that has actually developed. Premier Doug Ford of Ontario, thank you so much. Let's hope for the best.
Well, thank you, Wolf. God bless America. God bless Canada. We'll get through this together.
Well
Thank you.
said.